Hi there, Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Learn English Bersama Madam Azimah. And today we are going to learn the be verb. Now, if you're wondering what is the be verb, well, this is why I'm here. I'm here to enlighten you, give you some examples, look at common errors, fix some of them, and hopefully you will be clear by the end of the session. What are the many forms of the be verb, how to use them properly, and then hopefully you can identify your mistakes as well. Okay, so we have a lot to cover, and we're going to do part 2 as well of this be verb. So you need to tune in today's session, which is part 1 of the be verb. Okay, so let's do this. I am going to bring up my slides so that listeners on Manis FM Facebook page can see it. Okay. So today it's called the be verb as a main verb and fixing common mistakes. Now, are you guys ready? I hope you are. Okay, let's do this. Right. What are the many forms of the be verb? Okay. So there are 7 forms, and this is where the confusion lies. So you have to pay attention. So we have the first one, am. Number 2, are. Number 3, is. Number 4, was. Number 5, were. Number 6, been, B-E-E-N. And number 7, being, B-E-I-N-G. Right? Am, are, is, was, were, been, and being. And now that you know the 7 forms, let's see how these forms are split into different kinds of tenses. Okay. So in the present tense form, we have am, are, and is. Am, are, and is. So am, A-M, are, A-R-E, is, I-S. Now, am is only used with I. So it would be I am. You cannot use you am, we am, right? Simple enough. But what about are? A-R-E. Now, A-R-E is used with you, and it's used with we, and it's also used with they. Right, so the confusion lies in which ones do we use? Is it are or is? So it would be you. You are, we are, they are. The third form in the present tense is is. Is used with he, as in he is, she is, and lastly, it is. So it's not he are, she are, it are. It would be instead he is, she is, and it is. So that's the present tense form, okay? Present tense form. What about the past tense form? So past tense form, so there are 2 be verbs here. We have was, W-A-S. It's used with I, so I was, he was, she was, and it was. That means the rest of them are used with were, as in you were, we were, and they were. So it's not you was, we was, they was, but it's you were, we were, and they were. And a lot of listeners, second language learners, get confused with this. And so the only solution to this is you need to memorize this because it's basic. And we use the be verbs all the time. The many forms of the be verbs is common. All right, so you do need to memorize this. Which ones go with which be verb? Okay, so we've covered five types of the be verbs. All right. The 6th one is used in the continuous form. So B-E-I-N-G, this means the action is ongoing. So B-E-I-N-G is used with am. So it's am being, I am being. Are being. Was being. And were being. Okay. I want you to memorize this. And number 7, B-E-E-N, been. Earlier we had being with I-N-G, but this one is B-E-E-N, which is the in the perfect form, this means that the action is complete, and you use been with has, as in has been, have, as in have been, or had, as in had been. All right. Now, again, you do need to memorize this, which ones go with what and all. So this is very, very important. Whether you like it or not, it is important. Okay. So now we've learned the 7 forms of the be verbs, right? What about exploring the meaning of be? What is it? So there are what we call several ways to understand be. So let's talk about the first one. So be is used to talk about identity, like background, profession, relationship, nationality, age. So if you're stating these things, it's the general truths, right? It's true as of now. You use the present tense form, which is am, is, and are. So I want to talk about myself. I want to introduce my name. So I say I am Azimah, not I Azimah, but it would be I am Azimah. I have to link I with Azimah using the be verb. I am Azimah or I'm Azimah. My parents, this would be they, right? They are Kelantanese. My parents are Kelantanese. So I have to use are there because it's in the plural form. And as we've learned before, are is used with they. And my parents would be they. Okay, plural. So let's look at number 3, an example. She is a doctor. I'm talking about her profession. She is a doctor. Okay, whoever it is, she is a doctor. She is a doctor. But if I want to talk about 2 people who are doctors, I have to use are doctors. The husband and wife are doctors. And I have to use S there as well. Okay, so let's compare again. She is a doctor, no S. But if I use the plural form, the husband and wife, okay, plural subject there, are doctors. I have to use S. Okay. Number 5, they are Malaysians. So this is the nationality. They are Malaysians. All right. Now, what if I want to talk about the past? I'm referring to the past, then I can use was and were. Was and were. So for example, I was born in Kuala Lumpur. I was born in Kuala Lumpur. My mother was 19 years old when she got married. Number 8, Nurul and Alif were my students at UNIZA. Now let's explore this further. I'm referring to the past, so I have to use was or were. So number 6, I was born in Kuala Lumpur. Why can't I use I am born in Kuala Lumpur? That's because the time that I'm talking about, the time that I was born, I'm referring to that time, happened in the past. So I have to use was. Okay, I was born in Kuala Lumpur. What about number 7? My mother was 19 years old when she got married. Okay, my mother was 19 years old. She's no longer 19 years old, obviously. So I have to use was. And then number 8, Nurul and Alif were. So Nurul and Alif would be categorized as plural subjects there. All right. So Nurul and Alif were my students at UNIZA. So I'm talking about that they were my students, but now they're not, because I can say something like this. Now they are lecturers at UMT, for example. Okay. So I hope that's clear. We use be to talk about identity, and we looked at using the present tense form versus the past tense form. Okay. Second way of using the be verb is to talk about characteristics, behavior, and personality. So let's take a look at some examples. She is friendly. They are generous. Number 3, you are being silly. All right, if you can see number 3 there, if you can listen, I said you are being silly. So are being, there I'm using ARE and then BEING because I'm talking about the behavior at the moment of speaking. Remember, it is the continuous form, BEING. So I'm talking about you are being silly right now. It's different from me saying you are silly. If I say you are silly, I'm saying that you're always silly. But you are being silly is the behavior at the moment of speaking. Okay? Now, what if I want to turn the sentences into the past tense using was and were? Simple. Just use was and were. So I would say, instead of she is friendly, she was friendly. Instead of they are generous, it would be they were generous. What about number 3? You are being silly. Change it into the past tense form. It would be you were being silly. Okay? Now, the third way of using the be verb is to talk about feelings and situations. Okay. So let's take a look at some examples. I am interested. I am interested. He is excited. This is interesting. They are hungry. I am happy. I am happy. Or I can contract it into I'm happy instead of I am happy. So I'm happy. That would be more natural actually. So I'm talking about feelings and situations. I need to use the be verbs, right? Okay. Now, let's change the sentences into questions, right? So changing it into question form, all I have to do is put the be verb in front of the pronoun. All right, so let's take a look at examples. So just now we had I am interested. Change that into am I interested? He is excited. Change that into is he excited? So I put the be verb at the front, okay? This is interesting. I'll take is at the front. Is this interesting? They are hungry. Take are at the front. Are they hungry? What about I am happy? The question form would be, am I happy? Okay, am I happy? Right, so those are the 3 ways of using the be verb. And there are more, of course, but I'm going to go into part 2 of using the be verb and fixing common mistakes. So today we've learned the past tense form, the present tense form, as well as the 7 forms of the be verbs. So a lot for you to digest. Tune in to the part 2 session where we'll talk more about this. And I'll see you guys soon. See you on Wednesday, 12:15 p.m. only on Manis FM, Gaya Pantai Timur.